first step here in getting Cody to where he trusts us and he has confidence in us, and he needs to understand he's not going to get hurt, or we're not going to be abusive to him. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on softening Cody. Okay, so I'm going to give him, I'm going to take my rope like this, and I'm going to put my thumb down, I'm going to pull down. See how nicely he yields to pressure. So that's a good sign, all right? Then I'm going to take my hands like this here. I'll take my hand like this, and I'm going to ask him to flex his jaw, okay? And I'm going to hold pressure, and when he yields, I release. So see behind his ears there how it's bulging a little bit, and he's giving me resistance. This is all new to him. I'm going to hold that now until he yields. So I got to reward his least bit of effort. Okay, so he gave me just a little and I released, and now he's starting to yield to me, but he's still giving me resistance. So I'm going to hold that. See, now he's moving his hip around, trying to relieve that pressure. So now I'm going to hold that. Okay, there. Okay, so now I'll put my hand right here, and I'm going to soften this part of his neck. I put my hand right here, and I'm going to soften this part of his neck and his jaw. He's going to bow his neck and flex to me, which is called lateral flexion. All right. So I'm kind of putting pressure on his nose, and I'm asking him for flexion. Okay. I'll come over here a bit. So this is all new to him, but he's doing a good job. There you go. See there? That's what we want. So now we'll do the other side. So see here, whatever you do with the horse, make sure you always do it on both sides. I see a lot of horses that I call left-sided. They've only been worked with on the left side. So get his jaw. So I don't want to feel any resistance in his jaw or his neck. I want that to kind of feel elastic. I want him to give and yield to me. There. Now, there, good job. Now come back here, Brittany. And I'm going to come here. And folks, this is kind of an art form. You gotta see, I got my hand on his withers, and I'm asking him. Good. But, you know, you got to learn to ride a horse with feel and not mechanically. So you see people get up on a horse and they're just hanging on. They're just, you know, last week I got a horse in here that had a crease across his tongue where the people have been hanging on him in the bit with their hands so hard, trying to hold on to him, keep him from running off or whatever. It's a sad story. But when I did that horse like this, it was like he was stiff as a board. But he's had to do that to protect himself from those folks that they were nice people, but they were brutal with their hands, and they didn't know they were being brutal. So that's a whole nother story. You know, we're working with those folks to understand softness and understand the value to that. So this horse will not be of value to anybody until he is trusting of us enough to yield to us. Because a lot of horses, you know, the good news is Cody hasn't been ridden, so nobody's spoiled him. He hasn't had human contamination yet, I'll call it. So that's why I have a lot of confidence in him, because if he would be a horse that a bunch of, I call them cowbillies, have been beating around and riding around and stomping on and spurring on, chances are he wouldn't be a good candidate for what we're going to do. But the good news is he hasn't been contaminated by human, let's just call it ignorance. You know, there's a lot of folks that are on a horse and riding him, but they're just kind of like a passenger, and they're very forceful about how they do things. But to get a horse really good and really usable, you know, you have to ride a horse and handle a horse with kindness and softness and feel.